They do have a nice win condition here for 496 in the Luna, and that can kind of sit back, farm while the rest of the team forces fights as 4. I just worry about losing too much map space. I think OB.Neon has way too fast of a push potential coming through, and the defense coming out from 496, they have to execute their team fights great. They have to be able to get a pretty quick blink on Axe. That's going to be key for Red. He needs the blink call to set up for these team fights, to set up for the egg, to set up for the Sunray to burn, and just kind of get rolling from there. I think Neon does have the draft to really just take that mid tier 1 fast, take the top tier 1 fast to clear out the top jungle, isolate the Luna out, and we're just looking for a Yopaj hero now. If they get something highly mobile here, the hold from 496 isn't great. Like they have egg stun, they have lift, lucent beam and call, I guess, but none of those are hard enough to lock in something like the Ember if it does slide free for Yopaj once more.
Fair enough. I'm kind of curious as to how these drafts are going to finish up, John, if I may as well. Like, you've picked up a Loon on the side of 496, Terrorblade's not banned out. I realize, you know, maybe you don't have that much space for another position 1, and it may not be OB.Neon style, but when you've got a Lesh that could go mid, and you've got a Prophet who could go on the off lane, or they could even switch them up, you still do kind of have the space to get really greedy with that Terrorblade pickup. And it doesn't really look bad, right? Laning against Axe may be a little bit annoying, but once you get past that, go to the jungle after that 10-minute mark, Luna can't really beat you as a Terrorblade. It's not really... It's possible, it's just not very easy. I don't know, I feel like OB.Neon, they might just go down that greedy route and just take the TB.
Yeah, I think if they go that route, you'd probably want Enryu on the Prophet off. I mean, you could still go Leshrac, you can still flex the NP and Lesh off in mid. So you could still hard lock in something for CTM to play that greedier pause 1. 496, we're likely looking for our mid here for Hung. They do have a lot of options left. No TA, no Puck, no Lina, no Storm. The 2 Spirit Brothers are still on hand. The mid Earth Spirit, I guess, is an option, but I don't think it really fits this lineup. Probably not going to be a factor. They could try for the Tiny once more to tie into some early aggression, but they need to have a good lane. They need better rune control if they go for that Tiny, because we saw Yopaj last time. He got the first few all the first power runes in the first 10 minutes. So you need to kind of ensure that your supports will be there to contest, because if Yopaj gets something active mid, and you have a Tiny that doesn't pick that up, your Tiny's not going to make any rotations at all.
Okay, they're going to go for a Magnus pickup. I believe that will be a mid Magnus we're looking at. See what OB.Neon want to do. I mean, I brought up the TB. They'll probably go the safer route. Just run the Skem Pos 1, Lesh, and maybe the Prophet in the 3, or other way around, and pick something else up for Yopasha in the mid lane. Just depends on what they want. They've got 2 minutes to think about it in reserve time if they so wish. So plenty of time.
If they want to really go all in this fast pace, a Pugna could kind of work. You know, just smell towers. Don't even care about the fight potential. Netherward's going to make it annoying for Magnus and Axe. Heck, everyone to kind of just use their spells there. So you could go with that. Your matchup in mid is not amazing, but could work. They go Darkseer instead.
Wow.
So what's our Yopaj hero? That should be Enryu's offlane Darkseer. It is a CTM Prophet, so it is the Yopaj Lesh mid. Leshrac versus Magnus is not an amazing time for Mag. Like, the wave just gets cleared out by Yopaj. You can keep clearing out as Magnus as well, but when it comes down to level 5, the Lesh will just shove out the wave, go for the push. You can maybe punish from Hung, but that will require the supports to come and help. So we need to see 496 be more active under pause 4 and pause 5 to secure that mid for Hung. And again, prevent the bounty runes from being stolen away. Hung should have a better time with a skewer in play. Yopaj does not have innate mobility here, but I like the response from Neon. You were talking about Terrorblade, right? To get some illusions of the Luna back. Darkseer can do that with the wall and just the vacuum in. So you can still kind of get that effect in the team fights. And the Darkseer is fairly annoying for the Luna to lane against. Your range as a ranged hero isn't big. So you're always going to be in range of the Iron Shell if you walk up to lane, if Enryu places cards right. And that is going to put a dent in the farming pace for Portgas early on.
Okay. Give me the well, I'm going to give you the hard question. You give me the hard answer, John. 496 OB.Neon. Drafts complete. Who came out with the better draft in your opinion?
I'm going to have to lean towards Neon. I think they've got better timings to play around. They've got great push potential coming through. They don't need to sit back and farm. For 496, Luna needs farm, Magnus needs farm. Like Magnus specifically needs Echo Saber Blink. Luna's going to need, I don't know, Manta style into more, maybe a Mask of Madness in between, depending on how 496 plays. Maybe the fast Yasha first. But it takes longer for 496 to get her farm hawk. Heck, even the Axe needs the Blink Vanguard, maybe even a pipe this game. And the Ag Shard down the line because it's still really useful on an off lane. So there's a lot more 496 has to stall out for compared to OB.Neon. Neon just needs levels. Once they hit 5, you can just commit onto mid with a Leshrac, TP CTM in, and just take the towers and just go from there.
All right. I was actually going the other way around. I thought 496 came out with the better draft, quite frankly. But it's good for us to be split for once, John, because this game could be the game that 496 needs to force to a game number 3. We'll find out very, very shortly as we do go into game 2 now. We are going to have a very quick Merienda pause, though. Nothing wrong here. Gotta say, while we're here, John, I'm still, till this day, very surprised we haven't got some kind of sponsorship for these tournaments for food, Merienda. Could literally have a Merienda pause every single time. Shout out to Mate Mate, though. I mean, obviously, they're kind of part of Merienda because you've got that tea-based energy drink going on. Very, very nice stuff. But you get my point, John. All this time, we've been going on with the same kind of garbage joke of Merienda. How many years now? We still haven't found a sponsor. I mean,
what do you mean? It's serious stuff, Merienda.
I mean, the truth is, John, we can't even afford Merienda. We're starving while we can't. What Merienda?
That's true. That's true. You know, would be nice if we maybe got that down line.
What did you eat for Merienda, by the way? I mean, all jokes aside, obviously we did eat Merienda, John. What are you eating today?
I think we're just having coffee. You know, just a nice hot cup of coffee. Oh, no. Actually, I was wrong. I think I've got some lassi from lunch. I got like, lassi, you know, like lassi, the Indian, like buttermilk drink.
Yeah.
So I got like an order of 4 because I wanted my family to try it because I loved lassi when I was living in Singapore. Got the sweetened stuff. And I had my sister sip. She didn't enjoy it. And my mom and dad were eating something else that wouldn't mix well with the buttermilk. So I drank like 2 servings of it. There's still 2 servings left. I think I've got a pretty good merienda lined up with that lassi, Mike.
Very well done, Jonathan. Thank you for that. Very multicultural of you. Me? I had some. My wife made a potato dish last night. I was talking to you about it.
Oh,
you know those what do they call it? It's like a British thing. They call it pommies or something. Poms, like the spherical potato. That's what they're literally called in Australia. I'm not trying to be racial here. That's what they're literally called. So yeah, I had some of those.
Oh god, I hope Nina and Dougie are watching. I think they'd get a kick out of that. But still, yeah, the potatoes sound lovely. I know you were trying to justify it as a vegetable diet, Mike. So I'll let you believe in it. Sure.
It is a vegetable, John.
Yeah, we can accept that. Yes, it's fine, Mike.
But it is a vegetable, John. It has no seeds in it. It's a vegetable.
It's a carbohydrate vegetable. You know, it's not exactly. Well,
yeah, but it's a vegetable.
Yeah, you're right. It is a veggie. Nice and healthy veggie.
Don't talk to me like that. You know it's a vegetable. Why are you talking to me like you're right and I'm wrong? It's a vegetable.
Look, I've always been confused with vegetables and fruits and root crops, okay? I'm not very smart. I don't know the technical differences if you do isolate vegetables by that or not. So I'm just honestly confused. I'm not a very capable analyst when it comes to organic stuff, all right, Mike?
Fair enough. Thank you for that, Jonathan.
Not my job.
Right. Look, we might have a bit of a gank attempt here. Let's get serious, John. Red, looking to move in. Can't really do much apart from Battle Hunger, really, like as the Axe. He's not going to get an easy setup for Odd either, so he's just going to hold on to the skill point, and they're still going to be able to get a 2-for-2 trade anyway. He's got a little bit of love tap there from CTM on the Prophet. We may as well talk about this bottom lane while we're here. So we've got Genuel, who is currently de-warding a very nice ward. He's going to be with CTM on the Nature's Prophet. And of course, you've got Red there on the Axe, and you've got Ohio on the Pos 4 Rubik. In terms of this laning stage, like for Axe, maybe it's not so easy to secure CS up against the Prophet, but you are going to have spin, so you might be able to secure some of those treants as well. Might feel quite nice here for Red.
It's not the worst lane. I think you should still be able to get some decent farm, especially as the levels go up. You can just, again, use those creeps against the NP. But Red has to watch for the early right-click damage. He went for the Battle Hunger, so he just pops that onto John Well. But the right-click damage from CTM, he goes for this build all the time. Iron Branches, Blightstone, Tangos. He has a ton of right-click damage, and the Blightstone is just so valuable when you've got treants around. Like, they hit you, their damage is amplified as well. You're not going to win these early trades on the Axe, and the Rubik Axe lane is just a lot slower than most combinations with the Axe, so you can't really look for that aggression on Red early on as well, and you need to wait for those levels to come in for both heroes.
Fair enough. Over in the mid lane, you've got your Page there against Hung Hung. Your Page already quite low in terms of HP, but not going to be that easy for Hung to secure the kill. It's going to take your Page to be out of position for a nice skewer back to that tier 1 Dire tower, but I don't think your Page should get caught out too easily.
Yeah, he's just using his wave clear, his slows on the Lightning Storm quite nicely. Hung can't really get in good position to look to run up and get a skewer off as long as your Page reads that movement from Hung Hung. So it's fairly even if a mid matchup, 73 up against 63. As the levels go up, I think Yopaj is going to have a nicer time. He's just holding off to see if he can go for the Edict build. And if he can, and once you hit 5 there, with at least 2 levels in the Edict, you just shove the wave out, go for the mid push. Hung will have to watch for that timing down the line.
Certainly. Top lane as well. Ace is going to be there along with his Phoenix. Of course, it is going to be that baby, and you've got Shanks there on the Nyx Assassin along with Enryu on the Darkseer. Quite an annoying kind of lane to be against with the Darkseer Nyx. I think Ace and that baby, they're going to be fine anyway. And it is 2 range heroes against the Darkseer, so you're not quite as bad off as you would have been with like a melee carry here, but the lane does tend to get pushed in a lot. You can't trade harass with Shanks very well either if he has the Iron Shell. At least if you're that BB. It certainly feels like a very strong kind of laning combo from OB.Neon.
Yeah, and I like seeing this early vacuum from Enryu. It just lines up for the double impale from Shanks down the line. They're diving deep though.
They are diving very deep. They're trying to get the double Iron Shell onto Ace. Ace is going to turn around now that Tier 1 tower's aggro, but a nice impale there from Shanks is going to put a stop to that. Enryu selfed up. Ace, he's going to get the same there from that BB. Both of them are going to be able to back off to safety.
Yeah, a lot of resources used to stay there, but I think overall you're happy with his state on Neon. Sure, Portgas is still finding some farm somehow, but you are hammering in that BB here. He's not able to go around the jungle to get some stacks off. He's not able to pull. And that's all you really want. Prevent the Luna from having that flash farm down the line here.
Genuel, Ohio, gonna go at it. Sentry Ward's being dewarded. Genuel, he will not get one himself. And top lane, Enryu does end up dropping. And now a double kill the way of Ace on the Luna. Very nice setup. And that's gonna be quite detrimental to OB.Neon. It's the one hero you don't really want to give the double kill over to is gonna be the Luna. You will see that baby just run himself into the tower and just get a free reset for himself on that Phoenix.
Yeah, it's a great start for 496. Sets up for Luna to make up for the fact there are no stacks, but Hung down mid.
In trouble, Yopaj trying to get active. A nice skewer back into the Tier 1. Probably not going to matter though. Ohio, he already commits the lift anyway. Shanks is going to be perfectly fine. Yopaj, he has a nice water rune to go back to as well.
Nice, fully topped up. Really good movement out from Shanks to TP Yopaj to enable that play. And kind of evens it out. 496. Again, they've got these heavy farming heroes, and despite finding some kills on the map, these heroes are not having any sort of stacks built up. The triangle stack does have one ancient camp stacked up, but their top jungle is just not really built up because that BB is forced to stay in this lane. So again, you're losing flash farm potential for your Luna down the line in trade for harassment onto Enryu, but the Darkseer doesn't mind us too much. His CS is still within 1 creep of the Luna. You're not losing out despite that commitment from 496, and just stopping any stacks from that BB is already a big win here.
It certainly is. Top lane. There's a bit of a dive going on there for Portgas Ace. Shanks is going to pop the Spike Carapace early. Ace is going to try and chase him down now and does have that level 2 Lucent Beam, but he won't go too deep. Because for Ace, you want to play safe. You want to secure your own CS, get your levels up, and eventually just go into that jungle. So no real rush to get any more kills if you're this Luna. I'd say it's kind of the other way around, right? Where OB.Neon need to be the aggressors, but even with their draft, they're probably going to take a bit more time to be up and online and ready to go. So we are going to have a bit of a quiet period now, I think, until that point.
Yeah, and they could maybe start to set up for that mid shove. Yapaj is left alone here while the triangle is being checked on by Hung. He does get his bottle top up, maybe waiting for the bounty rune to come in. But it's around this time, maybe a minute more, where we should see movement in for the objectives from Yapaj. They just need to melt these towers and stop that farm.
Oh, Ohio, he copped a lot of damage there from the Nature's Wrath, and yeah, he's gone. Yapaj, that'll be his second kill of the game nonetheless. And look at that, John. Well, I was about to say there was going to be some stacks in that large camp, but they're already gone. They should be able to scan out the Ancients. And you can still take them with a Leshrac. He will just need some assistance.
Yeah, it's just having that information, I think, is great. They're not at the point where they can really clear it safely, even with their Magnus. And you can see here, Yapaj is just starting to pressure that mid already.
Yeah, Hung. Oh, Hex is out. Genyor, he has the follow-up stun. Hung, he had a skew up, but he never got it off. It's like he kind of faced back the way of Yapaj, maybe wanting to go for the shockwave first, and it does cost him his life, and now that mid-tier 1 tower is also set to fall.
It's just a bit slower. Yapaj doesn't have the mana for the Edict, so there's enough time for a rotation back in. But that tower's already really low, down to 480 HP. The next shove out should get the job done. If they really need help, CTM can TP up as well with creep. So you've got tools on hand to get that done. They have sort of left the Luna lane alone, so Portgas has a ton of space now. The Darkseer is not really going to be able to zone out, but they're just committing on mid.
Yeah, why not? Hung, hexed up again. Shoyo, he'll have the follow-up Impale, and now Yapaj with the Split Earth will also land. Is it going to be enough? Yeah, it will be, with the Nature's Wrath to follow through. CTM will have the follow-up damage, and now the tier 1 tower is certainly just gone to Yapaj. And meanwhile, top lane, Portgas the Ace ends up getting solo killed by Enryu. That was solo, John.
Yeah, he committed the wall, and I think when you go for this Luna build with Lunar Blessing kind of valued more, you have to be cautious against the Darkseer, right? Like, he gets the aura from having that Luna illusion up, so there's a ton of damage that can come out for Enryu, and he can just sustain himself in that sort of trade. And you're also at the point where Iron Shell's max out. Remember, Luna's range, as a ranged hero, isn't that long, so you can still get hit by that Iron Shell while trying to farm creeps. It's still a very annoying lane, and this is where 496 needs to start being a bit more proactive. They need to clear out the bot tower to open some space up for themselves. Their jungle's just completely invaded right now.
T1 tower top. Gonna go down very easily here to CTM and Enryu. Meanwhile, Yapaj, he's still chasing down. Poor Hung, he just can't catch a break. I mean, you've got to love the way OB.Neon's playing this, though. They just continue to be so aggressive towards the Magus. Now, Ace, he hung around. I mean, you just saw the Leshrac die. I'm not sure if it's safe to just stay there and keep farming. He gets a courier, but it's not anywhere near worth his life.
No. It's like, the only safe spot right now for 496 is their triangle. That's where they built up the stacks. That's where they've got the wards. They don't have control in the top jungle. They need to push in this bot tower. Red's getting that done solo. But it's a slow process with just the axe. It will fall eventually because Neon just knows they have no purpose staying there. They can just play top instead. 496 have to be cautious. They still need a lot of time to farm up. They need that Magnus Echo Saber Blink to be up, and he's still a long way from getting either of those done. So a lot of patience has to come true here, and they need to maybe just group up, clear out these Ancients while they can. Like, have the Magnus come in, have the Luna come in, just get the damage off, split the farm before any further invasions can happen from OB.Neon, because they're at the point where their lineup's really strong. There's no big counterplay from 496, and they're just going to get smashed if they lose it. So they do commit. It is shared between 3 cores, though, so it's not as much initial burst farm coming out, but at the least they secure that for themselves. Neon, though, they're just happy with it. While they clear out the jungle alone, but altogether, CTM has a free jungle top. He's got the lane to shove out. Yapaj just plays around doing whatever he wants. He's rushing his BKB after this Yules flies out. And they smoke up. They've got level 6 in Shanks. He's got the Vendetta.
OB.Neon. Yana red. Vendetta up, red. He's going to have no idea. Oh, maybe he does because he saw your punch that last second, but it won't matter. There's no way out. Your punch, he's too far ahead. He's level 9, 5-0-2 already. Would you believe it, John? He has a double damage rune as well. Not that he needs it because he's Leshrac, but, you know, Ice Frog, he's just like, you know, your punch, you've been a good guy to me. Here's another good rune for you, sir. Enjoy.
Yeah, he's just done so much work, and it's very reminiscent of his performance on that Ember. Just very active on the map. His team knows to play around him. Look at this movement. While they're trying to push bot, the supports just rotate into the triangle. There are wards here, so the side of 496 do manage to back off in time. That just allows them to get some D wards while that's going as well. So now they lose control in the triangle, they lose the bot tier 1. CTM is still free farming somehow, and they're not getting enough farm split between all 3 cores.
Look at poor Red. He's trying to hide behind the tier 2. They're going to spot. They're just going to dive in, perhaps. Are they really? No, they're not. They're going to force the TPs. Yopaj is thinking about getting aggressive. The egg is down. They can't take it down in time. They'll drop the wall. They'll get the impale out. Shanks, he's going to try and run, and he is out of range of the egg. They force 4 heroes to rotate. They force an egg, and 496 get absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's a bad spot for 496. They're just forced to play this way because they don't really have any sort of movement to they can get done. Like, they've got the RP ready. Hung again opted to go for the Echo Saber first. They're surrounding Portgas now.
Yeah, Ace is going to try and run. Shanks, he's in the Vendetta. He's going to run right into him. Quell down a tree, but that might help Shanks. He's waiting to get that right click off, and they'll get him in the end. CTM, he'll claim the kill. Meanwhile, the rest of OB.Neon looking to move their way back into that dire jungle, but I think OB.Neon are happily just going to go after this top tier 2 tower now. And it seems like Neon are speedrunning this series, John. It's not a matter of winning, it's just how fast can we win. They want to get to lunch. They've got a dinner set up, maybe.
Yeah, this is a speedrun any percent Dota 2. Easy mode, maybe, for Neon right now. They could go in quick, good games done fast if they want to with this kind of raid. As 496, they need to find a way to mount the defense. If they can stall out for Hong's Blink, maybe you can get something done here.
Yopaj is going to be chased down. That's a nice target to go after, unless you're only that BP and you get fingered down like that. Genuel, he's going to try and chase him down in Ohio. A nice steal. He gets a finger stack himself as Red now is going to keep going. Meanwhile, Hung, he has an RP, but he's not going to get it off. He goes down beforehand in the call. It lands on absolutely nobody as the Eclipse come through, but the neutral camps, they're taking all the Eclipse. Now Red's gone. I mean, at least Ace got a neutral camp, John. I guess that's one positive. Ohio, he's going to try and run. He's been caught out. He's gone. In fact, no Vendetta's there, but Yopaj. He can smell them, John. He can smell the supports near him. He knows where he is.
Oh, man. This is sickening from OB.Neon. This is such a turnaround from that first series we saw them. It's good to see them back in form, but 496, they're being beat down right now. They still need time to build up on their Magnus, on their Axe, on their Luna. They just went for such a greedy lineup, and there's just no space to farm. They have the bot jungle if they want to. They have cleared out that tier 1, but there's been enough time for Neon to plant a nice ward to watch movement there. So even then, if they go down there, Neon could either just go for objectives or go for the ganks. And they still have a Nature's Prophet who can TP in at any time. They do still have their big spells here in 496. Egg is ready to go along with the RP. Looks like they might want to play with that. The Blink is almost up for Hung as well. He's like about 100 gold. So if they have the patience to wait for that, this could be a fight they can take. And he does sell an item to get that done. So we'll see if this movement will line up. As Neon, they're kind of clumped around mid. They could look to maybe make a bait play here as well.
Just looked at the loot bet odds, John. 10-1 right now.
Jeez.
I don't think I need to tell you which team has the 10 and which team has the 1. But it is 10-1 at the moment. Shanks, mid lane. Impale is taken by Ohio. That's going to feel quite nice for the Rubik, but it does feel like this isn't on Ohio right now. He needs his cause to be able to step up and get some decent spells on. Hung, maybe this is it. That's a decent enough RP. They've got the Nyx, or do they? Well, Dunk is there. They got another as well. Still, Genuel is the first one, but it may cost you your Axe's life. A skewer back onto your Page, but he gets the Yules off in time. They found Shanks for the Nyx Assassin. Can they keep going? Enryu, he's still rushing forward, but he's rushed way too far forward. And he is going to die, and that's a good team fight. It looked like it was going to be kind of dirty there, but 496, they make it work.
Yeah, and they did need to find a couple of wins. They do find the kills they want. The side of OB.Neon not really managing to clean up, but look at this, CTM.
Yeah, CTM's around. He's got that damn Witches played up. Ohio, he's not moving anywhere. Ace, he's going to try and pop the Eclipse, but look at the treants around him. Although he is running. Finger out from Chanuel, he'll get that bit. Oh, Ace?
Oh, what?
Why?
Oh, my goodness.
Why would you try for the TP there? I'm trying to think of what he was afraid about. Like maybe CTM, he was afraid he was going to TP in front?
Perhaps.
I think that's the only
thing.
thing.
On him for a bit. They were on him for a
yeah.
bit, but then they just kind of left him. I think he should have just kept running. It gets punished for staying around. I don't think even Upaj was going to feel like he's going to get that kill because he wasn't under the ward vision. So just small mistakes like that piling up for 496. 9k lead now. Mid tier 2 going to fall. No RP, no egg. Team fight not looking great here for 496.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
It's a pretty much a repeat of last game. Maybe just a tiny bit better than what last game was for 496, but it's eerily similar. So, I mean, Roshan going to be started. Neon, pretty much the same timing as last time around, except this time they don't have an Ursa, but they don't really care. Shanks, he's just going to keep the vision up. He's going to make sure they know exactly where 496 are headed. And they're headed nowhere. They're sitting in the triangle right now. It's about all they can do at the moment. It's a rough game.
They're clearing like 3 camps. That's all they have for Portgas to farm. Roche is being taken. Roche number 1, 17 minutes in. Aegis goes the way of Upaj. Probably the best hero to have that with his mana pool. And 496, well, they have all their spells up. Maybe they can hold high ground again. If they have the patience, their high ground hold is nice. But if they force the fight outside, I don't see any good situation for them where they kind of win out there.
Oh, Ace. He's caught, John.
He's
don't
gone.
see a way. Yeah, he's gone. Oh, yeah.
So long.
Yep. There's not much else. They just took Roshan. You know, you've got to kind of guess where they're headed after that. Yeah. I appreciate he needs the farm. I'm not saying Ace is doing the wrong thing. It just seems like either your team needs to be there to back you up in case, or you've got to have an escape plan or something. It's just such a tough time. They're desperately trying to find a way to come back in this game, but it's really challenging with a 12k deficit at 18 minutes in.
Yeah, it's a 12k deficit with a Luna, with a Magnus, with an Axe. All these heroes just need so much farm, and it just goes back to draft. Neon has this super fast pace. They just melt the towers. They apply that pressure. They don't have long cooldowns to wait for beyond maybe the wall and the finger. Even then, those are just like not even required.
Oh, we found the axe as well, but no TP in CTM. He cancels it off, so maybe Ace can set up for a kill here. Red's gonna rush in after the Nyx. Spike Carapace though is there, and the rest of the team, they're making their way over. Hung, he does have that blink RP up, but he's been used up by Upaj into the split earth. Egg has been dropped though. Maybe they can still fight. They do get Shanks, but they've lost Red. And I believe OB.Neon are gonna be more than happy to just charge in. Like now, you know the egg's down. Maybe with the RP they won't try to force high ground, but they do even still have the Aegis, honestly. Top lane? Oh, Ace, no. He's trying. He's trying his best to get some farm up, but it's hard against Prophet, right? Like Prophet Darkseer, they could just pretty much rush to you anywhere. He was a bit far forward, but what's he gonna do? He needs the farm. If they want to win, he needs to get something.
Yeah, he's taking that risky position for his team because they just lost the fight in the jungle. So, you know, as everyone else is there, he just runs down the lane, hopes that he can get some space out. Unfortunately, the tier 1 was still up. So there was an easy TP point for the Darkseer. There's a Nature's Prophet on hand. He can just show up anywhere. The options are very limited for 496 in trying to get that space out. Again, they are holding the high ground. They are very patient. They're not forcing as much outside as we saw in game 1. And I think they understand that probably the high ground defense is where their best bet's really at. Just get the RP egg, hope for the best, and kind of take it from there. See what happens. For OB.Neon side, they don't really mind waiting like this. I mean, look at Scem. He's already got the Satanic up with a Sange, with a Maelstrom, and Witchblade. He hits hard. He's got Lifesteal. He's got Self-Dispel. He's got really good stat resist. You can't even lock in this Nature's Prophet. Heck, they've even struggled to take Shanks of all tanks on that Nyx. He's hard to pin in. So it's just really an awkward situation for 496. You look at the levels again, Mike. At the least,
no, not again.
Esports
Hold on. There is a skill back. They've got a target. They'll get Genuel, but if it's gonna cost you red, yeah, that's not worth. They're going high ground now. Yopaj, he's got the Aegis. He's got the BKB up. It looks like he's not gonna commit. He'll back up. I'll look at the XP graph. John, what is it? What am I looking at now?
The only one lower than them is Johnny.
Oh no.
It's level 19 on CTM, and Hong is level 13. He's the next one in the dark side. It's a 6th level lead.
Which one's worse? The fact that 496 are that low in levels, or the fact that Januel's not above them? Which one's worse in this case, John?
I would pick on Januel, because I can gloat to him on Facebook about it. Januel, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Get your shit
Why
together,
are you still
Januel.
level 10?
We'll have a talk
buy
with
the book later.
We'll talk with the CEO of OB.Neon. We'll let him know about this performance. We'll get him sorted.
Go easy, you know? Get some EXP going. Put some work in, buddy. It's time. You gotta play catch up. You can't be behind like this.
16k net worth lead. Now, should I look at Dota Plus, John?
Yes.
Oh, it's 99%. It's not 100. There's a 1% chance. That's all right. You know, we're still going in this game 2. Still possible.
Yeah, it's the 1% I keep trying to say. It's the high ground defense RP egg with Eclipse if you catch them before BKBs. And that's the key. Let's see if 496 will be able to get that done. It's the smoke play here from Neon.
Oh, CTM, he went right into it. He doesn't have a BKB, but he has a Satanic. He's fine. He tanks the whole Eclipse. A big skewer RP, though, or rather a Horn Toss, but it just doesn't matter. They just stun them all up.
Middle tower is under attack.
None of it mattered.
Oh, God.
What 1%, John?
Oh, 496. And they take the fight outside again, just like in game 2. The 1% relies on high ground defense because it's a tight
there was never
corridor.
Get out of here, John.
I mean, there's always that. It's Dota 2. You can't just throw away the possibility of Neon going overconfident. It looked awkward, but man, they were clumped up in that tree line behind in that ramp area, and it was just perfect for the vac wall, for the follow-up stunts on the Nyx, on the Lion, on the Leshrac. They've got great AoE to maximize the vacuum combos, and 496 got hasty. Now, to be fair, even if they held high ground, again, it would have taken them 2-3 attempts to kind of correct how far behind they were. But I think that was really their best bet. So they just kind of risk it outside. Excuse me. It doesn't pay off. And Neon, they have an amazing 2-0. Unfortunately for 496, that's the end of their story here in the Loot Bet Pro Series 7. That's as far as they get. They put up a pretty good fight, and they had some moments. Neon did make it look fairly straightforward. I think it's really just down to the fact that Neon played amazingly well, more than anything else. Look at CTM and Yopaj, 9-0 and 12-0 on the Nature's Prophet and Leshrac. They just did so well in all of these games, and I'm very keen to see if OB.Neon can keep that performance down the line.
With that, John, we are going to head to a short 15, maybe 10-15 minute break before we do have our next series up, and it is going to be another exciting matchup that I know a lot of people tend to get riled up about. Team D against GXR. A lot of people, you know, they have their opinions about Team D. Some people love them, some people hate them. I personally find them very entertaining, and against a team like GXR, it's a very hard matchup. But one of these teams can now qualify straight through to the Pro Series 7, the Lootbet Pro Series 7, if they win this matchup. Don't tell me I'm wrong, John. I've checked the details.
All right.
Thank you very much for that, John. We're going to head to a short break. When we are back, we're going to have GXR against Team D.